All right. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you're all having an amazing morning this morning and you are fired up and ready to knock it out for another amazing day. I know I'm starting off this morning with Xavier Matakin here at a networking event at a glass blowing company, if you can imagine it. So, actually, here at the networking event, watching some glass being blown in the background, meeting some good folks. Fired up to be able to hear from a very special guest this morning who has been going out and crushing it, and here to share some words of wisdom and some of his experience up until this point. Let's go ahead and give it up for none other than Mr. Steve McMillan. Steve, take us away, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Martin, I'm kind of envious of you right now. I would love to see a glass blowing exhibit like that. I think that's kind of cool how they do that. But yeah, I am actually en route to the territory office this morning, getting ready to get my certification. And when Martin had asked me to start talking to you guys and think about what I wanted to share, probably my biggest success, my biggest tip that I can give to you guys is to be yourself. I know that we talk about the process a lot, and I'm backing the process 100%, but this process only works if people know that you're authentic. And last night, my wife actually reminded me that if I tend to think more on the goals that we have as an ADM, as an ASR, and unlocking those bonuses, I'm not focused on the right thing. And she reminded me of that. And she's right. I If I focus more on the money rather than helping people, my deals don't go as well. People can tell it in the tone of my voice, they can tell it in how I'm talking to them. And so my biggest tip, my biggest experience that has helped me has just been myself and to focus on what it is we do as reps of Colonial Life. We Every time I talk to somebody, I try to get to know them more than what we do. As Kendrick says all the time, I listen to people. Every one of my deals that I have done, I listen to them. I hear what their pain points are. I hear what their experiences are, what they take the most pride in. And a lot of times it's not even their business, it's taking care of their family and the people in their communities. I can relate to that. Those of you that, I'm pretty sure everybody on here knows me, but those that don't, I've got a couple kids, and those kids are my everything. So when I'm out working those deals and I'm talking to those business owners, at the forefront is my kids and the example I want to show for them. So when you listen to these business owners, when you're going out and making these deals, relate to them. Find a way to relate to them, whether it's something in their office, whether it's an experience that you have had, whatever it is, relate to the business owner to better understand what it is that they need from you as a rep. I don't share this a whole lot, but one of the things about me that really sees the importance of what we do is my dad. I basically grew up with my dad having cancer. And to date, he's beaten three different forms of cancer, but didn't have anything like Colonial in place to help. Looking at my family history, that is not a position I want my kids to have to worry about and have to deal with. So I tell people, yes, I believe in the product, but it's mainly because I use Colonial. I have that cancer policy, I have that critical illness, and I share that with people because I understand the toll that cancer can take on a family. As a kid, watching your hero have to battle that and hope that they win is not an easy situation. So I actually spoke with a DM a couple days ago, and she had her 5-year old in the back seat making all kinds of noise, trying to pick them all up from school and get them ready for the day. And I told her, I've got one of my own. I completely understand. Would you have time next week to talk and see what we can do to help you guys out? She told me absolutely. She loved the fact that I was a dad, that I was a parent just like her. She loved the fact that I could relate to what she was going on at 5 o'clock. And I've got a phone DM with her at 9 o'clock on Tuesday. So I've been thinking a lot about what I was going to say to you guys. And that is probably the most important, is just be yourself. Learn the process, learn the scripts, make them your own, and then go out there and show people who you're really like, because they're going to be able to pick it up. I, I told
I
Martin
love
that
that,
I'd
Steve.
probably have. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Martin.
I was going to say no, and that's so relevant and valuable for everybody to remember that it's not just about the product itself, right? But when you really think about it, you are the product as well, and you're the person that needs to be able to connect and being able to share those things about, hey, you if you have children, then fantastic, share that, right? Be relatable and really connect with the people where they're at. So, no, I love that, Steve. Fantastic.
Yeah, so, Corey was telling me yesterday or last night that you need to get back to focusing on the people and not the dollar signs. We make great money working with Colonial. I'm not going to deny that. But it really, truly, for me, is not about the money. It's about how we can help, it's about how we relate to these people. I've been on
I
a couple DMs. Go ahead, Martin.
No, go ahead, keep going. I was gonna say I love that.
I've been on a couple DMs. I don't think Kendrick is on here, but he backed me up. I've been on a couple DMs where the people actually, like, customers of the DM actually walked into the office and the DM just let them. And I was like, wow, this is who you are in the community. Our meeting is important, but you obviously care about your people. And that's what I try to show on every meeting, is that I really don't care how much premium you sign up for. I want to know that your people are protected. If I can help your company save money, I care more about that than how much premium you sign up for. The premium is great and I love it. But at the end of the day, if I walk out of that DM and I know that I helped one person with some policy that they didn't even know they could get, that weighs more to me than any amount of money you can throw in front of it. And in fact, Corey could actually attest to this. One of my accounts, I walked in there and the lady says, "Hey, do you guys have accident policies?" I said, "Yes, of course we do." She goes, "Okay, great, because I need to sign up for everything that you have." I was like, "Okay." At first, I just thought she meant she was being excessive, like she wanted more than she really needed. Come to find out, this woman is known in the office as being the most accident prone person that most people have seen. Like, that reputation follows her around. And then before she left, she actually spilt her energy drink and her coffee within a 20-minute period that I was standing there. So when Corey goes in as the enroller to talk to this woman, I gave Corey a heads up that this is what she's interested in. When the whole thing was done, Corey called me and she goes, "She signed up for everything under the book. She is really that accident prone." And I laughed, but that to me is what mattered. Like, that woman knew we were coming. She had the questions. She signed up for everything that she could under the sun for her and her family, because they're all accident prone. And I loved it because their company doesn't offer it. I just had another account sign up that they don't carry dental through their company health insurance anymore. So we've had a lot of people come across and say, "Hey, I need dental. I need to get this signed up. How can I see if my doctor's covered or not?" I know that Bar and Corey both looked up our website for people that are in our network, and those people signed up for everything they could that they needed for their families. That was the biggest accomplishment that I had with that account this year. So when you go out and you talk to these people, don't worry about the premium. Don't worry about how much they're going to write. Let the coordinators and the enrollers do their thing. Open up to them. Share with them, because you are the face that they're going to be counting on to help them when a claim can't get filed. When they're having trouble saying, hey, I don't understand my policy. Does this work because I just broke my arm over the weekend? Our policies are there to help, but be friendly to them. What I have gotten the most experience out of is the fact that my customer service background has been the leading drive in any person that I talk to. We all have experience with customer service. I know some of us have probably hung up on somebody on the other line. But at the end of the day, you are customer service. And that's what people are hoping for, is that they're going to call you mad. They're going to call you upset. They're going to call you panicked. Keep calm. Talk to them like a person and help them realize that we're here to help.
That's so good, Steve. That's exactly what people want, is they want to hear, that someone's there to help. But so I just wanted to chime in to see, does anybody have any questions for Steve as far as what he's been sharing with us this morning? Please feel free to unmute yourselves or put a note in the chat, and we can relay that message to Steve. Because Steve, I know you're driving, so we can definitely read it off to you.
Hey,
so I
guys,
appreciate that.
One thing that Stephen didn't mention, with his dad's cancer treatments when he was a kid, and Stephen remembers it as kind of a fond memory, but from a parent standpoint, there were lots of times when they lived on popcorn, guys, because his parents didn't have policies like Colonial to bring in that financial support when his dad was unable to work because he was fighting for his life. And that's one of those things that stays in the forefront of my mind. I don't want anyone that we talk to have to live on popcorn because they can't afford groceries because of cancer treatments or a heart attack or something like that. There's a little bit more of his backstory for you.
So it is a fond memory for me.
Sorry, Steve, take us away, sir. Sorry about that.
So Corey's right. It is a fond memory because I didn't realize that's what was going on. As I grew up and my dad is still fighting, there was a lot of unwritten pressure on a kid to show my dad that I could do this without him. I am actually the first McMillan in my family to go from high school to college and finish college. But at the same time, my dad was going to college as well, fighting all this. And that memory, that story aids in, well, I don't really need cancer. I don't really need critical illness. Does it run in your family? No, not really. I think I had one of my parents run it for, I think I had one of my grandparents have it a long time ago. And I was like, okay, so it does run in your family. And people don't realize that a lot of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis actually lead the way in asthma, in causing cancer. And if we can be there with a policy that'll help back them up when they've got to miss that day of work because of a chemo treatment, I'm all for that. I would much rather have that in place than anything else, because I understand what it's like and how hard it hits a family when cancer comes into play.
I love that, Steve. And we can really tell for both you and Corey that the purpose and the passion behind what it is that you do runs so deep. And you can tell when you speak that comes across to the business owners and to the prospects. So that's amazing, amazing. everybody, really what I'm hearing from Steve also is that, again, there is that true connection to what it is that we do. So one of the things that I would recommend, and that I would invite you to consider and ask that you actually do today and throughout the rest of this week, is to take a moment to think back to some of your life experiences. Think back to some of the people that you may have known. Think back to maybe even a situation that happened in your life where these programs could have made a big difference in your life and could have positively affected you and your family. It may not be you. It may be your neighbor. It may have been somebody growing up that you knew. It may be a family member or something of that nature. But really think about how you can tie what it is that we do back to a personal story to then be able to share. I know, for example, growing up, that my grandmother had gotten leukemia. Well, she got leukemia not having known it, or I'm sorry, she got leukemia, but didn't know it and didn't find out that she had it until she went in for pneumonia and then found out that she had stage 4 leukemia. Well, we think back to something like that, and truly these policies could have made a major difference because she was never going to the doctor. Maybe she would have gone in to get a wellness checkup and found out that she had had cancer where it was actually treatable. Or down the line, maybe that would have saved our family from going through financial devastation when you have multiple family members taking time off of work, etc. So just again, wanted to share that reminder from, again, what Steve was saying, to really take a moment to connect what it is that we do with a situation in your life. So again, that way you have a true understanding for what you're doing. So Steve, back over to you, sir, for some final thoughts and closing comments. Unless you had anything else to share, sir.
No, just remember to be yourselves. Think about the process, think about the script, but make it your own, and just be yourself. Sorry, there was a siren that passed me a minute ago. Just be yourself. Find a way to connect to these DMs that you may or may not realize part of your history they can relate to. If you don't have kids, fine. I mean, some of not real sure who else on the line, but I mean, some of us remember what it's like to be a kid and how frustrating we can make our parents. My kids do it too, and I love it. But just remember to be you. Follow the process, but be you in that process.
Whew, I love that, Steve. That's a mic drop. Follow the process, but be you in the process. Remember, everybody, that we are human beings, emotional creatures. We build relationships first. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. If they don't know you, they don't like you, chances are they're not going to do business with you, regardless of how amazing your program and your product is. And they're certainly not going to give you the time of day. So, everybody, let's go and give it up for Mr. Steve McMillan. Whoop, whoop. Great job, Steve. Way to knock it out this morning. Everybody, let's go out and let's remember our passion, our purpose, our why, and again, the reason behind what we are doing day in and day out. Let's go out. Let's make some friends today. Let's positively impact the people in the community. Let's build some relationships. And let's, first and foremost, be ourselves. Thanks so much, Steve, for being on this morning. Thank you, everybody, for being on this morning. Have an amazing day, and let's go out and let's make a change in the community. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing day, and we will talk to you soon.